Hey everyone, so I don't know how to start this up. I know that that's a big beginning to say, but we're just gonna have to deal with that and keep moving. So I took a year plus gap from YouTube and drawing for the most part. I think I drew like 2 pictures on paper while I was gone and I didn't finish them, which I brought up in this video, so it's up to you if you want to watch it, but I just like mention it briefly. And after coming back, I had an existential crisis just last week, right after I put up the second video on Sarah, so I want to walk you through what happened. Basically, I save pictures all of the time. I always have. I'll spend hours sometimes saving a bunch of images from tabs I've opened over like a month or so. But after a year and a half gap from drawing, I came back to notice that it felt like everyone became masters in very specific techniques that I never even heard of or seen. And I'm going to show them to you right now. So these are the type of images that I saw when I came back. The images that I'm showing you right now are from several different artists and they're beautiful. I mean, I was looking at this stuff and just in awe the whole time. You know, I wanted to, some of them gave me like inspiration for stuff. Other ones I was just like, wow, the way that you drew that was so interesting. Looking at other stuff, you know, I was just so shocked to come back to art that looked like that because, I mean, the last time I was on Deviant Art, I didn't see stuff like that. So I was like, I guess that this is like a new fad that's getting popular or something. Like not a fad, but like a new technique or whatever that's popular. So I have been looking at pictures for like hours because, you know, DeviantArt is set up to where you look at one image and then there's 9 on the side from the artist and there's like 6 more under that or something from like other artists and 3 more recommended ones. And so you're just seeing images and images and images and I'm just clicking around and I'm like, wow, this stuff's amazing. Where has this been my whole life? And I'm just still thinking of ways to explain this while I show you some more images because I want to get through them all for a reason. But now I'm going to go through some of the things that I really admired about these pictures. I have like skin details. I mean, some of these people look basically real. They look super airbrushed maybe, but this looks real. It's amazing. And the hair looks almost like real, and it in some ways looks more interesting than real hair. Like this, for example, there's these brush strokes that are like kind of, you know, thick lines, but when blended in with the rest of the hair, it makes it look very realistic without as much effort as drawing every single strand of hair or whatever. So stuff like that I was just amazed by. Even the background here, there's these blurry backgrounds. I'll show you another one. Like here, you know, it's so blurry, but it still gives you an idea of where the person is. Like it's very detailed is what I mean. Like it looks really nice. Hair highlighting. You know, the lighting on the hair, like with here, you can see like these lines that really make the hair look like light is shining on it. I didn't see that a lot a year and a half ago. You'd see stuff like this on the side, but these hairs coming out here, I was like, that's a really good idea. And you see it again here. There's a ton more hairs on this one, but you get what I mean. It's just like coming out. There's like light. The layer of it is what I mean. Or here, for example, it just really like enhances the way that the person looks. And again, with the backgrounds here, like the starry night sky, the clouds, there's so many colors in it. More simple backgrounds, but it still helps it to come to life with the like, again, the lighting on the hair and stuff. This hair pretty much looks real. Like you can see like all the tiny little hairs. Again, these thick strokes on the hair, but it still makes it look really realistic. This one again does the same thing. And then you have like these black and white ones that I've been seeing a lot, but there's a lot of detail, the texture on the skin and stuff like that, the hair, like with this, for example. And then the effects, you would see like these kind of chipped off things on the face. And this is really important to me because I have a character where something like this happens to them. It doesn't look like this exactly, but like you can see something from another dimension kind of coming through their body. And this gives me a lot of inspiration for that. If I'd ever be able to do what's in my head, I don't know. But yeah, I was looking at this stuff and I was like, wow, it is possible. It just looks so, again, the detail. like I said, I was amazed when I saw this stuff, but at the same time, after a while, after seeing so many artists, I mean, it was everywhere on DeviantArt that I looked. The front page when I first went back had all sorts of pictures that looked like that. So when I saw these techniques, I thought to myself, how the fuck did I fall so far behind? Like, I'm okay with plenty of artists drawing better than me. They always have. But it felt like everyone on DeviantArt figured it out and figured out all this new stuff, and I just remained lost. And so since some of these things are things that I wanted to be able to do, and then to finally see so many people doing it and me not having any idea how, I was like, what am I even doing? Like, where the hell did I go wrong? Should I even bother trying to catch up? Like, you know, you have those thoughts, and I was in a crisis. So I wasn't thinking clearly because I was just so confused and just in shock and still trying to process it. So I just gave myself a break because I was like, this is too much. I don't know how to feel about this. Why couldn't I do what everyone else seems to be doing? And then I was like, no, I realized that I'm gonna learn from these people. I'm gonna do the best I can to understand what process it takes to do similar things to what I'm seeing. If everyone else can do it, then I should be able to figure out something. So I'm gonna learn from these people so that I hopefully too can draw like that one day. But I also came to terms with the fact that whether or not it's possible for me to do that, I don't know. But if I try, I will at the very least get better. So I started studying them, see an art process in my head, break it down into simple rules and draw it intuitively. And as I did this, I noticed some things and then some more things and then some more things. A lot of the things that started to reveal themselves. What I came to realize was that another thing changed while I was gone. That one thing is something that all of these drawings have in common. They're all AI. I was in so much shock when I realized it. Like, part of me was like, are you serious? Like, am I crazy, or is this is AI? But it all just started to make sense because the more that I looked at the pictures, the more I saw inconsistencies that only AI do outside of being crappy at drawing hands. And this obviously happened because AI became wildly popular while I was gone, and now I know the signs. So I'm going to point them out to you. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because, I mean, you just saw the video that I did, hopefully you did, here it is if you haven't, on some of the meltdowns that people are having over AI. And part of that whole meltdown could be that people had a more extreme reaction to the talent that's coming out than what I had. They probably felt very inferior and like terrified, and so they felt like they had to attack it. So for people who are feeling inferior to certain forms of art, I do want to point this out to you just so that you'll know for yourself that you're looking at AI, because not every artist makes it known that they are drawing AI, and even when they do, sometimes it's hard to find. It's not in their username or anything. And for people who aren't familiar with it like me, you can be looking at this art and just feel like it's so far beyond anything you can humanly do. Everyone's just made it to the finish line and you never will. So this way you can now look at it with the perspective of, oh, this is something that not even really an artificial intelligence is doing, but at this point AI is becoming super intelligent. So of course it's beyond my abilities, but with time and effort I'll be able to get there. One thing that I really need you to keep in mind is that, again, there's plenty of these artists that are making it known that they draw AI art. I'm not here to like expose anyone as this person is pretending that this is their art. It's not that. I'm not trying to say, oh, their art's crappy. The stuff is fucking beautiful, okay? If you don't think so, I mean, there's something wrong with you. But it's just to give you an example so that when you are on DeviantArt and you do come across someone who doesn't make it known, you can tell without them telling you. And it's to also give you an idea of certain techniques that the AI is using, because maybe that'll help you when you try to develop some of these techniques yourself. So long story short, it's just me giving you more information to work with in this whole thing and trying to help ease some of your fears, because you need to see this as a way to help you, not as a way to put you down. You can also use this stuff yourself. It'd be one thing if artists weren't allowed to use AI, but the fact that we all have access to it, you shouldn't feel like it's going to take your job, because if it was, then just use it yourself and then you keep your job. It's really that simple. But a lot of artists don't do that because then it goes against their moral code, and I already talked about this again in the Sarah Zero video, so you should just go watch that. It's just very contradictory. Moving on, most importantly, when it comes to all the artists that I'm about to show you, I have looked at multiple images from the artists that I'm showing, so I have found big red flag images in each of their accounts, and like I said, a lot of them openly admit that they're using AI, but I'm going to show you a mix of like the stuff they typically draw and then how I know that it's AI without a doubt. Now it's time for us to get into all the red flags. The first thing that we need to get out the way is mass production. If someone is making highly detailed art pieces and they're just churning them out, there's a very good chance that it's AI, because most humans can't draw that many pictures that fast. But by detail, I mean very specific techniques that I'm about to get into right now. So the obvious first giveaway is the hands. AI can't draw hands most of the time, we get it. I'll show you some examples here. This is one of the artists I was showing you before. If you look at the hands, it's literally just like a ball of, I don't even know, it's like a hairball. And over here it's just like kind of mush. But that's what AI does. They're just not really good at drawing hands. And if you look at the eyes, another red flag is the inconsistency with the eyes. To be able to draw this much detail and not get the eyes more, at least a little bit better than that. I know it's kind of blurry. It lets you know that it's AI. Over here, the hands again is just kind of like, I don't even know what you call like a mangled mess of fingers and blurredness when there's like so much detail going around. And again, if you look at the pen strokes of the hair, that's, you know, just another example here that I'll get into more in a minute. But the technique of the hair along with the hands, it lets you know it's AI. And I guess the arm as well, because it's just a lot of mush and people just don't draw like that. I think the violin also is kind of off. Yeah, it's like from far away it resembles a violin, but then you zoom in and you don't know what's going on. So those are the hands. I will give you more examples when I get into each of these like artists. The necklaces, the jewelry, that's another big one. It's usually just like strings of loops and stuff. It doesn't connect to the ears right. Ear is another thing where the ears, like you see the split in here, it doesn't really make sense. You look at the necklace, it's just like strings. For this one, the cleavage is also off. But yeah, really pay attention to the jewelry over here. Like this picture is beautiful, but if you look at the necklace, it doesn't make any sense. You don't know what it is. The earrings over here, they don't match, and that's fine that they don't match, but the way that they don't match, again, they look like needles and string. So it just kind of lets you know. There's more going on with this picture that gives it away, but I'll get into that later. Here, there's, again, just needles and like strings for earrings. The necklace down here just has like, I mean, you can just tell what I'm talking about. It's these weird loops and stuff. They don't really connect to anything or make sense. Over here, again, this picture, amazing, but the necklace is just needles and string. And it actually, sometimes it connects into the earrings, which is a cool idea, honestly, but it doesn't attach to the ear half the time. That's another thing about the jewelry. And then over here, this is completely incomplete. It's like, what is it? That's another giveaway. Here goes, again, a lot of jewelry on this person, but so much of it makes no sense. Like, you can't tell where it's connected to it. The strands blend into like the gold here. You can see, sorry about the sound of my mouse, by the way. Maybe no one noticed, but they will now. You know that. Anyway, you can see the necklace here. It's blending into the hair. It's just kind of like tangled up. Here, it doesn't really connect, so you get my point. Here's another one where it's not like gold jewelry or anything, but it's still just kind of tied around in mush. Like right here, it's just mush. It doesn't make sense, and that's fine. But if you look up at the head, it just starts and stops. That's another thing with some of these head pieces of jewelry. They just come out of nowhere and just kind of end, usually in spikes, and it doesn't really make sense as to what it's supposed to be. It's just, if you look at it, you get it. Like, it's kind of curved here, but here it's not as curved. It's like, what is it supposed to be? This one is super detailed, but with this one, you can see again, the hair is blending into the jewelry and it's becoming jewelry. It's starting and stopping in weird places, like into the eyes. And yes, I understand that makeup artists do crazy things. They can like glue jewelry into their eyelids and stuff, but we're not talking about makeup artists. We're talking about a drawing. These pieces are kind of like floating off of the face, and it's not really supposed to. Again, it's starting and stopping at weird spots, and it's blending back up into the hair. It's going into like the chin. It's blending into the mouth, like, and if you look at the mouth, you can see like some lines that are kind of inconsistent, but mainly it's the jewelry you got to focus on. This one when the jewelry actually does connect to the ears. So, and then sometimes the backgrounds, by the way, this picture I forgot to mention, but sometimes it just doesn't, you don't know what it's supposed to be. That's all the giveaways for the jewelry. But what you can take away from this is that you don't have to be perfect when you draw jewelry. This picture looks amazing, even though the necklace is just a bunch of tangled up mess and literally 2 of the circles are just blurs. It's still beautiful. It's even blending into the skin here and here, but it's still pretty. It's still a very pretty drawing. Same thing with the thing on the forehead. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just, from far away, if your picture is going to be this far away, you're not going to have her zoomed in here for your drawing, then it's okay to not have detail in everything unless you want to. So I would say that that's like a good takeaway, because it means that you can draw pictures faster if you're not painstakingly making sure every detail is right, which is a thing that people already advise you not to do when you're drawing anyway. Me personally, I'm still probably going to painstakingly try to perfect every little detail, but I'll try to get out of it seeing how effective it is here. And you can do really thin wired stuff and it still looks like jewelry. So just keep that in mind when you're drawing. We already talked about hands, but for the record, I still recommend you try to learn how to draw hands. Like, yes, you can still draw something beautiful and just make mush for hands. That's fine, but you'll be happy with yourself if you can learn how to draw it. So it's up to you either way. You want to just have like mangled hands, that's fine. That is another takeaway you can get from the hands. Hair is another giveaway. So like in this drawing, the hair just wisps and starts and ends randomly. You could say part of this is the necklace, but it looks like hair. So it's like starting on the chin, it's coming up on the face, kind of looking like cracks almost. Here it's just starting and stopping randomly, and then especially again like here there's just a strand coming down out of nowhere. So that's an example of a giveaway where you can tell that it's not a human drawing it. This is another one where like the hair is starting at the eyelash, but then it just ends here. It's not connected to any actual hair. So aside from the technique I was talking about earlier with these thick hairlines, which is a very common AI thing, even if the hair doesn't look like that on the sides and stuff, if you see it starting and stopping anywhere randomly, it's probably AI. Here's another one where like it's just that thick hair technique, so you can assume that it's AI. And you know, like random lines here, it's like, is it a tattoo, is it not? It doesn't look like a tattoo, so you would just assume it's like random lines. Again, you can tell that the nose here is like very off in an odd way because AI does that. They're also not really good with ears, so just for anyone who's gonna say that's not an AI drawing, it's like you can tell from the ears, you can tell from the nose, the teeth. When you look closer, things are off. You can tell the way that the pupils are drawn that it's not a person doing that. Person could easily just copy a pupil. Also, these very detailed blurred backgrounds and random details in certain places like the flowers and stuff. So this is an AI drawing. Another one is here, like the hair is blending into the hood. It's just coming out of the hood. Literally, it's like coming out here. So that's like something you see. And then again, those cracks on the face and just the way it's shaded, you can tell it's probably AI. Here again, a lot of hair shows up on the neck. It'll kind of tangle around the neck. And again, you can see like the little splotches on the face and stuff, that technique I was talking about before. You can see like those thick hairlines and stuff here as well. So that's like basically everything you need to know about the hair. Another thing, funnily enough, is the symmetry. So it's like the pictures are symmetrical, but they're not. It's really hard to explain. And yeah, I get that you could say it's asymmetrical, but it's really weird in the sense where like it almost looks like, I don't know how to explain it, but even though the two sides aren't identical, it's trying its hardest to be. That's another way that you can tell that AI is generating the images and not taking shortcuts, because it's trying to make it symmetrical, but it still can't because both halves of this drawing is generated. So this whole time I didn't know what to say, and the best way I could put it is that it's like a very specific attempt at symmetry. And I'm just going to continue to call it the wrong thing all throughout, so forgive me for that. Which I think is actually really cool, because it helps to debunk the whole idea that people are saying, oh, it's just taking snippets from other people's drawings. No, it's clearly not. It can't even copy itself. But yeah, like you can tell here, if you look at the lighting, things you can take away from pictures like this to help yourself is like thick lines on the lighting. And then they have like other hues blended into them. These hairs, it's not even a full hair of one color. It has like this light on it that I was talking about, you know, these thick hair strands, and it still looks amazing. Again, I don't know what the hell that necklace is supposed to be, but it still looks cool. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but the stuff looks good. You don't know what this is supposed to be, but you don't need to know. So those are things you can take away. Here's one where it looks basically real, like real hair, like as if almost every strand of hair was drawn, but it's still very likely to be AI. And again, with all these artists, I'm going to show you like obvious red flags of AI art, but I'm still saying most likely because I'm not just going to say something when I have no information of what the process was. But here you can tell another red flag that you'll see with AI is like the hair won't make sense, in a sense where this is a clear ponytail, but over here it's like a bun and then hair's coming out. And yeah, you could do that with someone's hair, but it's very unlikely that an artist would. AI also likes to put butterflies and moths and stuff. But anyway, this is in the symmetry folder because again, it's oddly symmetrical even though it's like not. It's really weird. And it's just something that AI does. So that's like another red flag. This one again is super symmetrical, super detailed, but at the same time it's not symmetrical. And yeah, and it also, another takeaway you can get from this is that your pictures don't have to be symmetrical. You don't have to like copy and paste the other side, but you can pay attention to how some of these, the thing with humans is that we're not perfect. We have odd things about us. So looking at the jawline here, this is a little bit sharper than over on this side, but she still looks like a person. Also another giveaway for anyone who's like, oh, how do you know? You can tell that there's a double earlobe here, which is a common thing that AI does, but that's another story for another day. You can pay attention to the background and give you ideas on how to draw backgrounds very simply, because it's so blurry. That's a lot easier to do than drawing all the little leaves back there and stuff. So you can take that away from it and get better. This is again super symmetrical, and again, if you look at the jewelry, it doesn't make sense. And then the hands is the dead giveaway, is always the hands. It's just a blurred, mangled mess. The candles aren't even really candles. Again, they're like a blurred, mangled mess, but the drawing is still beautiful. Over here, this candle doesn't even have a flame. Some of these don't, but it still looks great. So you can take away that. You don't have to light every candle that you draw. You don't have to draw the melted things coming down the candle. It still looks amazing. Up here at the top of this candle, it's just kind of like strokes of a pen, but it still looks really good. I don't even know what this crown is supposed to be, but when you look at this, you're not thinking, oh, the crown doesn't look like a crown. You know, it still looks nice. This one is super symmetrical, again, even though it's not, even with the background. And the other thing is very paralleled. Symmetrical might not be the right word. I know some pretentious edgelord is going to come at me and be like, you don't mean the word symmetrical. Well, that's the only word I could think of, okay? I know that they're going to bring some fucking word out their ass, but guess what? We all didn't know any words at the beginning of our life, and then we learned them. So if you want to give me a word as help, that's nice. But don't get on me because you knew one word before I did, you know? Anyway, with the dress, another thing that I did forget to put in a category for this video is that they put a lot of detail and they love to put flowers on dresses and stuff. And that can actually help you because even though this dress doesn't have a lot of shading, like in wrinkles and stuff, it still helps it to look more real just because there's a pattern in there. So if you put patterns into your clothes, people put patterns up for free that you can download and use for your art, and you're already halfway there for detail. But yeah, this symmetry or this weird like symmetry thing, it lets you know that it's probably AI. So people do draw like this, but again, it's just one red flag. You'd have to look at the other artist's work to see the other red flags I was talking about. Another thing is like similar renditions or like uploads or whatever of drawings. So this one looks very similar to this one, which means it's likely that it's AI because they're so similar and they're both digital art. So it's like, why would an artist back to back draw the exact same picture? It doesn't make sense. And especially if you see that often, it lets you know that it's probably AI. And there's other red flags, but again, I'll show them later. So yeah, you can also see here the earring is like super detached, just the example I gave before. So this is also stuff for you to keep in mind when fixing your AI art. You want to make sure that you fix the ears, you want to fix the earrings and attach them, you want to fix the hair that's blending into the skin, or if it's blending into the jewelry or blending into the ears. You want to fix all that stuff so that it looks more like a person if you want to practice, because editing little things on a drawing can help you to learn how to draw those little things instead of having to learn how to draw a whole picture. For some people like me, that's more helpful. As I mentioned before, which is cool, is the hair lighting. This, again, this dress doesn't have a ton of detail in the sense where it's just a big pattern on it. But when it comes to the shading, like here and stuff, you don't see a whole lot. So it's like, even though there is plenty of shading, it's very simple shading is my point. So again, just letting you know, patterns can really help to make your pictures look more realistic. I haven't worked with them, but I'm gonna try at some point because it's cool. You can see the hair blending into the clothes here. So that's like another example I was talking about. It's starting to do it here too, doing it there. But the point is, this technique of like light over the hair is something that artists can do. Even Sarah was doing it on one of her drawings. But when you see a drawing that's so real, it almost looks like it's a 3D model, like with here, and then you also see lighting like that, that is a potential other red flag that's AI. And again, seeing like the hair blend into the tattoos on the face lets you know, and you can see some weird stuff going on with the ears. So yeah. And then one other lighting thing that you can notice is that the lighting blends into the face, or doesn't blend sometimes, I guess I'd say. Like here, it's light coming from an outside source and then blending over the mouth in this weird way. So when you see stuff like that, it lets you know it's probably AI, especially when you see a drawing where it's so detailed right here and stuff. But then you see such a simple mistake like this, artists would notice that. Also, again, if you look at the ears, they're completely off. This hair is detached from everything. It's just coming out of nowhere. This thing doesn't look like anything in particular. It's supposed to be some sort of hair clip, but you can tell it's AI. So, you know, the hair is blending into the light on the neck here. And again, there is symmetry, like that symmetry thing I was talking about going on, but it's not symmetrical. So all those different red flags. Now, I only have one example for this from other artists. I can show you more later, but butterfly cat ears is a big thing for some reason that AI likes to do. So if you see like butterfly cat ears and they're really realistic butterflies, it's probably AI. With this earring is like completely detached from anything. There's no like ear coming out. So that's like another sign on this particular drawing. But yeah, the butterfly ear thing, big deal. It's very pretty though. So the last thing I'm going to show you is just these different artists and some of the red flags that they are drawing AI art. So like this artist, for example, has a lot of beautiful drawings. I'm going to link all these artists in the description. And a lot of these are very either heavily corrected in those areas that I was talking about, or this person got really lucky with what they were coming up with. I don't know what they typed in to get this. I would say a possible red flag is this cheek thing going on here. People don't really draw mouths like that. That looks like something an AI would do, because AI likes to blend things. It blends the background into your mouth. It'll blend the hair into the ears, stuff like that. Flowers is another thing I forgot to mention. Sometimes you just see mangled like stuff that's supposed to be a flower, like this. This over here, this over here. This stuff is like mangled, but it's like a flower. Up here too, it's like just things that look like a flower, and then it blends like with the stem. But yeah, that can give you an idea to draw simpler flowers, because I never draw flowers for the most. The funny thing is I did do it once on my channel trailer, the Are Humans Good picture I did. I shaded a flower, but it was literally just scribbles with two colors like blended in, and there's supposed to be flowers in the water. So my point is, you can do that and it looks like flowers from far away, but the AI did it way better than I did. So this looks really like cool and stuff. I don't really see red flags in these other than just the art style is a style that I see, like with this type of stuff. Possible red flag could be this blending here with the shape of the earring into stuff, but that's about it. Like the necklaces have been corrected. As you can see here, it's like cut off. So I think like the artist might have corrected the necklaces. I don't know. It's just a guess. You can see like lines in the body that aren't matching up with certain things, but it's pretty much like all corrected. The earrings aren't connected here to anything, but for the most part, it's connected. So this is like, I'm just gonna speed to the obvious red flag here, that there is AI art going on. One, these earrings don't make any sense, so I would say that that's a red flag for this. Also, if you look at the body, there's nothing behind the detail over here, which is a common thing AI does. It forgets or it just doesn't do it. And then like here, for a fact, I mean, the hands, again, it's just mangled messes of hands. And to see an artist draw detail like this, but then just put mush on the hands, lets you know it's probably AI. One other thing is with these earrings, this one's kind of detached here, but it's not here. Very simple thing that a person can do. Oh, I forgot one more red flag. Food. When the food doesn't look like anything, but it looks like it should be something, then it's probably AI. So like this clearly resembles sushi, but it's not sushi. Don't know what it's supposed to be. Like, what is this? You know, like a stack of pancakes? Like, this looks like it should be a bowl, but it's not. So from far away, it looks like a really cool like sushi restaurant, but when you zoom in, it doesn't make sense. It's still a very beautiful picture. I mean, I love it, but that's another inconsistency you can see with AI. And eventually it's going to get really good at drawing food, but right now this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. And again, the style, you can see the detailed but blurred background, and then the hyper realistic like foreground where it almost looks like 3D model stuff. So here's another style of AI food, by the way. And again, I don't know this. I don't know how much of this art is AI art and how much isn't. I'm not going to say this artist hasn't drawn anything or whatever. I'm just saying that it's common that AI is drawn food in this style. So like with this, for example, the stuff's really cute, but you can see like it's kind of like these 3D sort of like, they almost look like figurines, but they're food. I don't know how to explain it. But another red flag is also when you see a style like this and a style like this and it's the same artist. All these are from the same artist. So an artist being able to draw all those different art styles and just churning out pictures like that, one, being interested in all these art styles is very unlikely. The obvious red flag here is the hands. I mean, there's no denying it. I mean, I don't even know how to describe that. This claw over here, clearly it's AI and it's all, again, same artist. But point is, another red flag is when you see all those styles, this is a different style again, it lets you know that it's probably an AI artist. This is the same artist again, same one, all of this is the same, and the art styles are so different. Big red flag. There's things about it that look the same, but the techniques are so different. This is another artist, and then these are all different styles of art. So again, that's the red flag. This is a particular AI art style. I didn't get into that. I only have a few examples, so I'll try to get to that folder later. But yeah, like, I see faces like this a lot in AI. Like if you see a same face syndrome where it's this kind of like nose to chin ratio or whatever, lip, eyebrows, all that, face shape, it's probably AI. Also, there's that symmetry thing again where it's not like parallel, but it is like symmetrical. Anyway, and then it turns to the side and it's not anymore, but you get the point. Same artist, really beautiful. Like I really like this picture. A ton of detail. Same artist. I mean, there's a lot about this you can tell it's AI, but from what I told you, ears and all that stuff, the blending. So what this artist has showed you, some of the big giveaways is like these are lanterns, but they're not really lanterns. And again, what you can take away from that is you don't have to draw lanterns exactly. You can make this weird amalgamation of colors and it'll still resemble a lantern from far away. So it can help you to produce pictures faster. Since you know so many artists were complaining about not being able to make drawings fast enough, well, that can help you to at least speed up the process a bit. This is the same artist, the sushi restaurant, this is the same one. the symmetry, jewelry, all that stuff I already pointed out. This is the same artist, and they're different styles slightly. This is also a very common art style, the way that this face is drawn, and also the facial structure. You'll see it more later. And then the obvious giveaways were the things I already pointed out with these pictures. So I'll let you know. This is all the same artist, but the art is so different. Like, just these two alone are so different. It's likely that it's not a human drawing it. Again, this is the similar rendition thing I was talking about before, similar upload. Most artists wouldn't draw both of these. They would just do one and move on. So that's like another red flag. But for this to all be the same artist makes it likely that it's AI, especially with that technique again that I was showing you, like with this, where it's like tree bark-ish or like layers of paint or something chipping off of. It's really cool, but it's just a common AI thing. This is again that art style I was just talking about with that symmetrical picture or whatever. You see it a lot in AI. It also has that like tree bark thing I was just talking about, or the paint chipping off. So those are some more red flags. It's all the same artist. Stuff's awesome, but yeah. This, for example, is supposed to be a piano. But when you zoom in, it just looks like the idea of a piano, you know? So that's like another red flag. Just like with this, it looks like books or something, but it's just the idea of books. I think this is hair. So those are things you can look for. And you can see how this could easily give someone inspiration to draw, you know? The major giveaways from this artist, though, is like this picture. I don't really have to say much. It speaks for itself. You can see in the back, the face. You can see some issues going on there. The jewelry. Here again, I already showed you the hands. This one, it's the hair technique and the jewelry. This is that other artist I was showing you. The mouth is kind of a giveaway because it doesn't exactly look like it's painted on the lips and stuff, but I'll get into bigger red flags later. So this is the same artist. This stuff isn't exactly, it doesn't look like it's part of the same thing. Hair technique. And this is all the same artist, even though the art is very different. So yes, a human could probably do it, but most likely no. All same artist. Stuff's beautiful though. So the obvious giveaways here is like the teeth. Humans just don't draw teeth like that. That big mistake there. The lip blending into the face. The thing I pointed out, the hair here. This hand is just, you know, mush. Again, like just random fingers strung around. It almost looks like two hands clamped together. And the staff or whatever the person's holding is blending into hair. So it lets you know that, and the hair is blending into the thighs here. So those are some things. But it did get one hand mostly right, sort of. Well, not really. Never mind. Point is, yeah. This is the lighting I was telling you about. This is another like hand that's just a mess. Like over here blending into the hair. Here it's like 3 fingers, but it did draw one hand pretty much correct. It's one of the best hands I've seen AI do. So I don't know if the artist corrected it or not, but I mean, hey. Even these 3 fingers are pretty good. This one's mostly just a nail, but you get the point. It's pretty good. Why did I put this here? Oh, the flowers here is kind of a giveaway because it's just like the idea of what flowers are going to be. Oh, and the earlobe. Again, pay attention to the ears. Again, random spikes for skin. The necklace doesn't really match up with anything. Certain things are just floating and it's very symmetrical. Again, what I was just pointing out earlier with the parallel. It's just, I don't know, it's just this thing that they like to do. Same thing here with the ears. Very odd choices going on. The hair is blending into everything on this one, you know. This one, again, the ear is really odd and really big. This one, the earlobe again, and the eyes are kind of like odd the way that they were shaded, and the teeth, the ears here, giving it away. This is the last one I'll show you. I do have so much more. So the symmetry here, the art style as well. This one, the hair strokes, the hair blending into the neck, the earrings, is like spikes and stuff. I mean, once you know what to look for, it's so easy to tell. Chip paint tree bark thing going on here, along with the lighting on the hair. This one, I mean, the teeth, AI is not the best at drawing teeth, so the tooth thing going on. Yes, it's possible that artist wants to draw a tooth like that, but when you see so much detail and everything looks so perfect on a character's face, but then the tooth is like that, most of the time it's an AI thing, and the eyes are a little weird. And you can see like hair coming out like this, and the ear, it's odd. Again, the hair starting out of nowhere, so a common thing. And then the stroke technique is, you know. So the last red flag is that these people put up all these pictures and they have no videos of themselves drawing this stuff. Don't give the benefit of the doubt. Assume that it's an AI drawing until proven otherwise. It doesn't mean that you should go and attack them or anything. Just don't compare your talents to theirs because they're producing art from a program that is honestly beyond AI. It is super intelligent at this point, and it's only going to get better with every year until it isn't recognizable, which is honestly sad thinking about it now. I'm gonna miss some of these details in the AI art, and I hope that there's a way to still keep that stuff there, because those lanterns I was showing you, or that food, I like the fact that it doesn't look like actual food. It almost feels like you're in another timeline or something where that's what food looks like. So I really hope that programmers find a way to keep that stuff in there, like an option or something. Now I know some people are thinking if you show everyone how to do this, they'll just edit all of it out and they'll make the stuff look like it's real, so and they'll fool people. But by the time they fix all of these issues, you could consider that an actual drawing at that point, especially if they can blend it into the texture that these images have, that grainy texture that you see. Like if they can fix that parallel thing going on and make it look even less oddly symmetrical but not, or whatever, that would take a lot of work. If they could do something with the necklaces, the hands, and fix all that stuff, that takes a lot of like editing. And then the style, if they can make it look different from the typical AI art styles I was showing you, it would take so much work to change all of that, that yeah, they could consider that their own art. With all that being said, I think this can help people and even myself improve our art. I think challenging yourself to fix these inconsistencies can help you improve specifically. So I've been playing around with Wombo, and when I finally have improved some of the art that I've made on there, I'm going to post them on a separate Deviant Art called Kurena Plays with AI. I'll link that in the description too, because after making these pictures, I don't want them to vanish. Like I'm going to show you right now some of the stuff that I did. And again, you can tell that this is AI from the hands. There's like 3 hands and this like a claw, but it's so pretty. I don't even know what I like about it the most, but there's just so much going on that I do like. And there's so much that you can learn from it. The shading of the balls, the facial expression. It's not a very intense expression, but it's still like a very interesting expression. The fact they were able to nail that expression with the pose is really cool. I mean, you know, you just see this frame. It's so interesting. Like it would be cool to actually crop this out and put something in there. That could be an AI edit that people would know about. Or you could make like an AI picture and put it inside of the frame, but that's a whole separate story. These butterflies aren't actually butterflies, just some weird idea of a butterfly, by the way. But yeah, I'm just gonna go through these as I say this because I have a lot of these that I did. They're just really interesting, and yeah, I just really like them. So that's just like one type of thing that I gotten out of it. There's all sorts of other stuff that you can do. Maybe I'll like make a video on this stuff. This is another AI drawing, by the way, which almost looks like a real fucking photo. I might do like a video where I show some stuff that I did or something, but it's really cool, and you can see why I don't want them to vanish. They're just too beautiful to get rid of, but some things about them are fucking terrifying. Like some of these drawings legitimately scare me, and I'd have to edit a lot of that before I put that up. So anyway, that's all that I have to say on this subject. Tell me what you think. Thank you for sitting through all of this. If you want to give me some ideas of like prompts to put into AI, you can let me know, and when I do make another video on the art that's come up, I'll show you. I'm not gonna put up any pictures like I said till I edit them. But yeah, so that's everything. Hopefully this makes you feel better about any inadequate feelings you had in your art versus the AI. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.